Hello, everyone. Well, we have had another 2 weeks under our belts. We have about 7 weeks out from Thanksgiving. And as the old saying goes, so far, so good. Today, I'd like to go over several things of where we are now and where we anticipate going. So I thank you for coming and listening to what I have to say. First, let's talk about registration for classes. It is going to be a little later than usual. Priority registration for the veterans will start on September the 27th, and full registration for everyone else will start on November the 4th, which is a Wednesday. As I said before, that's a little later than usual, so we have to really get on it and get everybody registered. So I'm asking everybody through word of mouth and asking students, and our students asking students, have you registered yet? Sadly, we won't have our breakfast like we usually do, so I get to harass all of you and ask you, are you registered yet? But I will do that on campus. So I want you to remember those dates. Let's get ready to get registered and have another great semester at Tech. So now, I think some of the questions also have been asked about what will the spring semester look like. I will tell you that I think the Morgantown campus is looking at several scenarios and several different kinds of things. But because we have done such a great job up to this point with this disease, we are able to start just like we did last year. You'll have to come a few days early, and I don't have that date yet, but it won't be many days, but so that we can get everybody tested before we start classes. But we will start classes just like we did this fall, the vast majority of them in person, with social distancing, extra cleaning, and all the plexiglass we have around. So I look forward to us moving on as we have already done this semester and having a great start. Now, one of the questions that we got asked for the meeting today was what's the campus going to look like between this fall semester and the beginning of the spring semester. It will look a whole lot like it did this summer. There won't be a whole lot of activities on campus, but each unit will have the ability to talk with each other, make good decisions so that we are continuing to serve our students, that we're effective and efficient in what our jobs are. Some people will probably work from home. Some people will come to campus off and on. There'll be some switching. Each unit will have their ability to work with their unit to see what's the best way to do that. We will also need to work across the units at times because we want to make sure that if one unit needs something, the other person is there to have it. So it'll be done on a one-to-one basis of the units. I'll be talking with you later. Don't have any specifics right now, but I anticipate it looking a whole lot like it did in the summer months. So the other issue we, of course, have been asked questions about is the budget. And ladies and gentlemen, I wish I had a firm answer. The only answer I know right now is we still have to be very, very careful of how we spend our money. There will be a small budget cut with the budget. Right now, there is no discussion about anyone getting a salary cut, so that's good. Our numbers are a little better than they anticipated in some ways. A couple of ways they're not as good, but we're still spending a lot of money in ways that we've never had to do before. So we're going to have to be really careful with our money, but Tech has become wonderful at that, and I'm very proud of all of you. As I get more information, I'll let you know. Now, testing is something also that's going to be changing a little bit. Up to this point, we have been testing only our athletes and getting them ready so that they can compete. Now, the good news there is that we have tested our men's and women's soccer team, our volleyball team, our cross-country team, and we have had no positives. That's quite amazing and quite remarkable. So I want to thank the coaches and everybody and the students that are doing the right thing. So that's great. But the governor is going to announce, and we just heard this yesterday, so I don't have all the details, but I'll let you know as we go along. The governor announced that he wants on the college campuses 10% of the faculty, students, and staff that are on campus to be tested every week. That's a 10% out of the pool. Now, the good news is that they are going to provide us a new kind of test for that. and that test is saliva test. Now, I've thought about on several ways how to say this so that it is just not kind of as crude as I'm probably going to say it. But you know, guys, what it means is they're going to give you a container and you get to spit in it. And then you get to cover the container up, put it in another container of some sort, and hand it to the person that's there. We will have people that on campus, several of them will be trained to know how to make sure they get all the paperwork filled out, but it'll be quick, not invasive, and we should be able to do lots and lots of tests in one period. So I want you to make sure you watch your emails, because that's how you will be notified that you may be one of those people that will be randomly selected to have a test. As I said, we just learned about this yesterday, so we still have a lot of new things to know, and I'll send you an email out after we have everything done. I think this will be a good thing, and I think it will make all of us feel also a little more comfortable knowing that we're testing people on a random basis and knowing we're doing well. So now let me say something about staying safe. I'm not sure that we're using our wellness check like we should. Everyone, students, faculty, and staff are to do their wellness check every morning. And folks, we need to tell the truth on those. We need to do them, and then we need to tell the truth. If you are not well, don't come to class. Now, don't abuse it, but don't come to class if you're not well. Because if you do, and then you come to find out you've gotten sick with the COVID, then you have also endangered and put a lot of people's lives that was sat around you in quarantine, or they could be sick. So be careful with that, but make sure you're doing it every morning. It only takes about 30 seconds once you learn how to do it. If there's anybody that doesn't know, please let someone on campus know, and we will help you to make sure you understand how to do it and to do it really quickly. So I appreciate all of you. The other thing is the library. We're letting you do the overflow into the library to eat. So what I'm going to ask you is that there also be students in the library that are not eating. And of course, they have to have their masks on. So if you are not eating, make sure you have your mask on. And if you are eating, make sure as soon as you finish eating, you put your mask back on. That's just us being safe and respectful of everyone around us. So the other thing I'd like to talk about for a minute is out of state. There is a rule that if you go out of state, when you come back in, you have to actually quarantine for 5 days before you can go back to class, or actually if you're teaching in person and it's a faculty or staff member. So what I'm asking is that if there is an emergency, certainly we will understand that. And I think faculty will understand that. And I've only heard wonderful things about the faculty and how well they have helped with all the students that have been in quarantine and made sure they got their classes and helped them catch up. And I appreciate the faculty so much for that. But we don't want to be disrespectful to them. They are doing a yeoman's job. We want to be careful that they only have to work with the students that are in dire needs. So if you have to go out of state for an emergency, I understand that. But if you just get up one morning on Friday and say, well, let's all drive down to Ohio or to Maryland or to Virginia and spend the weekend, don't. Wait until after Thanksgiving to do that. Because that's just that fewer students that our faculty have to make special arrangements for in their classes. So I'm just asking you to think about that before you do it. I know there's been talk about being concerned about not being allowed spectators for our athletes. Now, part of that is some of the venues that we're at don't allow spectators. But I will tell you that the athletic director and I are going to talk and try to figure out a way that we can have spectators at least for senior night. We think it's very important that our parents and parents especially and the family get to see you play one last time in person. So I'm no promises, but I'm going to try my very best for Kenny Howell and I to figure out a way that we can get that done so that they can come and see you play and you will have a good senior night. So we're going to work on that. I just wanted you to know that we have not forgot what that request was. Now, I have a couple assignments for everybody as we move forward with the semester. First, let's talk about spring graduation. Each of you that are a senior and are going to graduate, and even last year's, I know what a wonderful accomplishment this is and how proud you are and how proud your family are, and they want to celebrate with you. And I wished I could tell you that come April or May next year, things are going to be fine and we can just do it in person. But I don't think that's true. I hope I'm wrong. We can do it in person, all of it in person like we've always done it. But I don't think that's going to be true. So I want you to help us think of very unique ways that we can do graduation in person. We may have to limit the number of people that can come and watch you. Maybe we can do it in separate rooms for separate degrees. I want you to think outside the box and send that information to me and let me know how you might see that we could do this by following all the guidelines and keeping everybody safe. I know how important, again, it is that your family celebrate you and celebrate this wonderful accomplishment. And I think we will do everything within our power and within the regulations that we have to do to see if we can find a way to make that happen. It won't be the same as the big graduation and all of us in the same room, but I think we can find a way so at least it will be a celebration of your accomplishments for the year and keeping you safe. So feel free to email me at my email, which is carolyn.long@mail.wvu.edu. All right. And we'll use those suggestions and see what we come up with. So I thank you for that. This next thing I'd like to talk about is I need your help with. During the past several weeks and almost over a month, we've had representatives from WVU Tech. They've been a part of the working groups on the main campus that are created by President Gee to address social justice issues. Now, he wants to find a way, like all of us, to find a way to support our students, our faculty, our staff, and our community members as those discussions occur on a local, state, and national level. I've personally been on a couple of those committees. Those committees have formulated their suggestions to President Gee. They've been sent to him, and within the next couple of weeks, he's going to report those out. Now, some of those suggestions will be for the full campus, just the Morgantown campus, and some will be for the whole system. But some also will be suggestions that we take a look at and we decide what's best and how can we move forward for Jack. So what I would like to do is I would like to start forming several committees to look at those reports and to see how they could be relevant to our campus and to our community. And for those committees to bring recommendations to me so that we can move forward in a positive way and to make changes that will make all of us better. Now, I'm asking that any student, faculty, or staff member that would like to be part of these committees to please let Emily Sands or myself know through an email. We need those names by next Friday. And then I plan on having at least 3 different committees. And each committee will have co-chairs. And those co-chairs will consist of one, either a faculty, staff, or an administrator, and a student. Because you are important here. This is what we want to talk about, is how do we make you feel more comfortable, and how do we move the school, the state, and the country forward in being better at all of this. After getting the number of people that would like to be on the committee, I'll let the committees let them know how that we form them, and they'll get their assignments. We already have a student diversity committee that was formed prior to the academic year, and they've been gathering campus questions and concerns and insights. We will use this information also as part of our conversation. We all want to listen, learn, and we want to contribute to making WVU a better place for everyone. We are committed to doing the work to become stronger, a more inclusive community, and a more inclusive community than we were yesterday, and to continue strengthening our understanding each day moving forward. Again, please email Emily Sands, she's our interim Dean of Students, or myself. And as I said, my email is carolyn.long@mail.wvu.edu by next Friday, so we can get these campus conversations started. As I mentioned earlier, we had only a total of 5 positives on this campus as of today. And we have no positives in the dorm, and of all our athletes that have been tested, we have no positives. But with good news, there always comes other things. Everyone is watching us. Now you take a look around at the other colleges and their rates and the problems they have had. We are only one foolish move, one party, one day deciding, I just don't like these rules anymore. One time not social distancing with persons that we do not know, to become one of those colleges, to causing your friends to have to be quarantined, or even worse, to be infected, or causing a family member to become sick. We are Golden Bears. We are not just about ourselves. We are about everyone around us. You are doing great, but we have to keep it up. We have to continue just to do what we've been doing. Social distancing, washing our hands, wearing our mask, wearing it appropriately, and doing your wellness checks. I can't thank all of you enough for what you're doing, because you're making a difference to this very different year. And we can make a difference for WVU Tech. We can start our semester just like we did. We can just be as normal as humanly possible under these circumstances. And right now, you are the example of how to get it done correctly for the state of West Virginia. Now, we just need to keep it up. Have a great weekend, a safe weekend, and let's go Golden Bears.